Hare Krishna and welcome to today's session. The Heritage Foundation welcomes every one of you for the Gita for Life sessions. Let's begin with prayers to Guru and Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Pada Krishna Prishtha Bhutale Shrimate Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Krishna Chandra, Radha Krishna Chandra, Radhe. Jai Radha Krishna Chandra, Radha Krishna Chandra, Radhe. Jai Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Vrindavan Dham. Jai Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jai Vrindavan Dham. Jai Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jai Gaura Nitai, Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev, Prabhupada, Gurudev, Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Sto Shri Srimad Divine Grace Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, वृंद देव तुलसी महारानी की जय, प्रणाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, निकाय गौर प्रेमानंदे। Hare Krishna. Here we meet again.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So here we are beginning with the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. We finished successfully the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Let's get started with the verses that we have planned to discuss today. These are the verses where we will be getting to hear for the first time in the entire Gita Krishna's words in response to Arjuna's grief and lamentation. So this chapter is titled as Contents of Gita Summarized. This is the chapter 2. Let's get started. I'll share the screen. I hope this is visible. There we go. So we will be covering 3 verses. I will read the first and the third by myself. The second verse we can have a lead and follow, or rather repetition. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse number 1. Sanjaya Uvacha Tam Tatha Kripayashtam Ashnupurnakulekshanam Vishidantam Idam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudana. Translation. Seeing Sanjaya, Sanjaya said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following words. I'll read the next verse in translation. 2.2. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kutastva Kashmalam Vishame Samupastitam Anari Jushtam Swargyam Akirti Karamarjuna. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kutastva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupastitam Anari Jushtam Swargyam Akirti Karamarjuna Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kutastva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupastitam Anari Jushtam Aswargyam Akirti Karamarjuna. Would anybody like to give a try?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, man.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha Kutastva Kasmalam Midam Vasame Samupastitam Anaryajustam Aswargyam Akirti Karamarjuna.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can try.
Yeah.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutastva Kashmalam Idam Vishame Samupastitam Anaryajustam Aswargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna.
Thank you.
Can I attempt?
Yes, yes. Dr. Ashwin, please go ahead.
Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutastva Kashmalam Midam Visame Samupastitatam Anarya Jushtama Swargyam Akirti Kara Arjunam.
Thank you. Synonyms. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said, Kutaha, where from? Tva, unto you. Kashmalam, dirtiness. Idam, this lamentation. Vishame, in this hour of crisis. Samupastita, arrived. Anari, persons who do not know the value of life. Jushtam, practiced by. Aswargyam, which does not lead to higher planets. Akirti, infamy. Karam, the cause of. Arjuna, O Arjuna. Translation and purport by Divine Swami Shri. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy. Purport by Shri. Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are identical. Therefore, Lord Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan throughout the Gita. Bhagavan is the ultimate in the absolute truth. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding, namely Brahman or the impersonal, all-pervasive spirit, Paramatma or the localized aspect of the Supreme within the heart of all living entities, and Bhagavan or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, this conception of the absolute truth is explained thus. Vadanti tattva vidastatvam yajnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmi Bhagavan iti shabdyate. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding by the knower of the absolute truth, and all of them are identical. Such phases of the absolute truth are expressed as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. These three divine aspects can be explained by the example of the sun, which also has three different aspects, namely the sunshine, the sun's surface, and the sun planet itself. One who studies the sunshine only is the preliminary student. One who understands the sun's surface is further advanced. And one who can enter into the sun planet is the highest. Ordinary students who are satisfied by simply understanding the sunshine, its universal pervasiveness, and the glaring effulgence of its impersonal nature, may be compared to those who can realize only the Brahman feature of the absolute truth. The student who has advanced still further can know the sun disk, which is comparable, which is compared to knowledge of the Paramatma feature of the absolute truth. And the student who can enter into the heart of the sun planet is compared to those who realize the personal features of the supreme absolute truth. Therefore, the bhaktas or the transcendentalists who have realized the Bhagavan feature of the absolute truth are the topmost transcendentalists. Although all students who are engaged in the study of the absolute truth are engaged in the same subject matter. The sunshine, the sun disk, and the inner affairs of the sun planet cannot be separated from one another. And yet the students of the three different phases are not in the same category. The Sanskrit word Bhagavan is explained by the great authority Parashara Muni, the father of Vyasadeva, the Supreme Personality who possesses all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation is called Bhagavan. There are many persons who are very rich, very powerful, very beautiful, very famous, very learned, and very much detached, but no one can claim that he possesses all riches, all strength, etc. entirely. Only Krishna can claim this because he is the supreme personality of Godhead. No living entity, including Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Narayana, can possess opulences as fully as Krishna. Therefore, it is concluded in the Brahma Samhita by Lord Brahma himself that Lord Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. No one is equal to or above him. He is a primeval Lord or Bhagavan, known as Govinda, and he is the supreme cause or causes. Ishvara Param Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadira Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is the supreme because none can excel him. He is the supreme person and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the primeval Lord Govinda and cause of all causes. In the Bhagavad Gita, there is a list of many incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Krishna is described as the original personality of Godhead, from whom many incarnations and personalities of Godhead expand. Ete cham sakala saha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrariga Bradayanti Yuge Yuge. All the list of the incarnations of Godhead submitted with are plenary expansions or parts of the plenary expansions of the Supreme Godhead. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. Bhagavad 1.3. Therefore, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, the source of both the Super Soul and the impersonal Brahman. In the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna's lamentation for his kinsman is certainly unbecoming. And therefore, Krishna expressed his surprise with the word Kutaha. Where from? Such impurities were never expected from a person belonging to the civilized class of men known as Aryans. Therefore, the word Aryan is applicable to persons who know the value of life and have a civilization based on spiritual realization. Persons who are led by the material conception of life do not know the aim of life, do not know that the aim of life is realization of absolute truth, Vishnu, Bhagavan. And they are captivated by the external features of the material world, and therefore they do not know what liberation is. Persons who have no knowledge of liberation from material bondage are called non-Aryans. Although Arjuna was a Kshatriya, he was deviating from his prescribed duties by declaring fight. This act of cowardice is described as befitting the non-Aryans. Such deviation from duty does not help one in the progress of spiritual life, nor does it even give one the opportunity to be famous in this world. Lord Krishna did not approve of the so-called compassion of Arjuna for his kinsman. And this verse I will read by myself, 2.3. Klaibyam masmagamapartha naitat Tvai upapadyate shudram hridaya daurbalyam Tyaktvo tishtaparantapa, O son of Pratha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the. So that was 2.3. So here in these verses that we read, we are seeing Sanjaya, because this whole conversation is happening between Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra began by asking, and this is part of the Bhishma Parva of the Mahabharata. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta savaha mamaka pandava jaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. This is the first verse of the Bhagavad Gita. And then in response to this question of Dhritarashtra, what did my sons and sons of Pandu do after assembling in the battleground? What did they do? And then Sanjay begins to narrate what all happened. There were these important warriors from Pandava side, from the Kaurava side. They blew their conch shells, and then Arjuna asked to see the chariot. Then he saw the opposite side, kinsmen, and seeing Bhishma, Drona, all his relatives, uncles, his grandfathers, his cousins, he became overwhelmed with grief. Then further he's continuing, and he's saying, and now when he's introducing Arjuna, he's Arjuna Uvacha. When he said Dhritarashtra, he said Dhritarashtra Uvacha. When he said uh, Krishna, because Krishna is speaking now in this verse, he did not say Krishna Uvacha. What did he say? He said Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. This is very, very important. Why he is referring to Krishna as Bhagavan and not as Krishna Uvacha. And as we came across these points in the Bhagavad Prabhupada explained about why this word Bhagavan is significant. So this is from the Vishnu Purana, and this is the verse which describes what is the position of the Supreme Lord. Who is God? In the Sistine Chapel in Rome, there is Michelangelo's very famous painting depicting God. So people conceive, different people have different understanding of who God is. So he thought that since God is the source of this creation, and this creation has been going on for so long, so God must be an old man. So in his depiction of God in the Sistine Chapel, very famous, the hand of God, there's an old man with the white beard, and he's reaching out to a human being as we're trying to help him. So this is his understanding of what God might be. Fortunately, we don't go by understanding of God based on the speculation of some imperfect being. We go by authoritative references given in the Shastras and confirmed by the Acharyas on who that God is. How does he look? Where does he stay? Who is his father and mother? What does he do? All this information we acquire, and we have information. We have all these details from the Vedic literature. So here is the definition of God. This is in the Vishnu Purana given by Parashara Muni. Who is Parashara Muni? Anybody would like to take a...
Father of Vyas Muni.
Yes. Any other? So that's a good attempt. Anybody else would like to try?
Was one of the god.
All right. Anybody else? Parashara Muni, as Dr. mentioned, yes, he was the father of Vyasadeva, Veda Vyasa, and he compiled the Krishna Purana. And there he says, Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Veeryasya Yashasa Jnana Vairagyyoschaiva Sannam Bhaga Itingana. So he's saying that personality who possesses all these 6 opulences simultaneously and to the unlimited degree, he is the Supreme Lord or God. And such a person is Bhagavan. Bhaga means opulence, and Van means one possesses. Just like we say Bhagyavan, or we say one who possesses fortune, good fortune, he's Bhagyavan. Like that, Bhagavan, one who possesses these 6 opulences simultaneously and to the unlimited degree, he is Bhagavan. So what are the 6 opulences? Let us try to go through these one by one. Aishwaryasya. Aishwarya refers to wealth. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya. Veeryasya. Veeryasya refers to power. Yashasaha. Yashasaha means fame. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya. Veeryasya Yashasaha. Shriyaha. Shriyaha means beauty. Jnana refers to knowledge. Vairagya refers to detachment. Vairagyoschaiva san bhaga itikana. So it is interesting to look at these opulences a little carefully. So it is said, Aishwarya. There are so many people who possess so much wealth. Currently, we have Jeff Bezos, who's the head of Amazon. I think he's supposed to have close to $200 billion. Maybe with that money, he can buy many islands, or maybe a small district, maybe a country, a small country. So I can have, somebody may have some wealth, somebody else may have more wealth, somebody else may have much more wealth. But nobody can say, can have all the wealth. Nobody can say everything belongs to me. You may have a much bigger portion, which you can say belongs to you. You may have a big company, you may have a big mansion, you may have so many, you may have lakhs of employees under you, you may have so many of these possessions with you. But nobody can say that I possess everything. Nobody can say that. There is no Devata also who can say like that. Only Krishna says. Krishna says in the 10th chapter, in the 8th verse, he says, Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhava samanvita. So Krishna is very kindly giving his own introduction. Because we are ignorant, we are not able to appreciate his position. So he's saying, Aham sarvasya prabhava. Krishna is saying, I am the source of everything. All what we see in this creation. We see sky, we see earth, we see water, we see mountains, we see people, we see. Krishna is saying, everything comes from me, including the spiritual creation, spiritual world, spiritual personalities, including the expansions of Godhead, Vishnu Tattva, Narayana, everybody. Krishna is saying, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. Everything comes from me. Everything has its origin in me and emanates from me. Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. Matta Sarvam Pravartate. Everything emanates from me. So this claim, nobody has made this claim. Only Krishna has made this claim. So even during, apart from this conclusive point on Krishna's position as the possessor of all wealth, it is interesting to note how Krishna displayed opulence when he was present 5,000 years ago, when he advented. The opulence that he manifested was unparalleled. So in today's society, it is considered a great achievement if somebody is able to maintain one family of one wife and maybe one or two children. That is seen as a very big achievement. But it is interesting to see how Krishna lived. Krishna had 16,108 queens. Not one or two or three. 16,108 queens. And how did he maintain his queens? He did not put them everybody bunker bed and inside one palace. No. He did not maintain. He maintained, he had an individual palace. What kind of palace? A marble palace. For each and every queen, there was an individual marble palace with so many servants, hundreds and hundreds of servants, so many guards. There were nice ponds, nice orchards, nice gardens, flower gardens. So there is a description about how this palace, they did not require any. They had very precious jewels embedded in the walls, such that day and night they would be glowing, and there would be no requirement of any external light. So this it just gives us a glimpse of what kind of opulence Krishna displayed when he was present. Nobody in the history has ever displayed this kind of opulence, even in this small planet Earth in its history. Nobody has ever displayed. Krishna's Dwaraka was so opulent when he was ruling as Dwarakadhish. So this it was the most opulent city in the entire universe, Dwaraka. So this is all history. So this is Aishwarya, wealth. And then let's go to the next one. Virya. Virya means power. So it is interesting that from the very beginning of Krishna's life, he had to face so many enemies. From the beginning, as young, when Krishna was 3 months old, Kamsa had sent many demons. They were very, very powerful demons. And they were sent to kill Krishna. So first of all came Putana. And at that time, Krishna was just 3 months old. 3-month baby, what can a 3-month baby defend itself from any harm? 3-month baby is completely dependent on the mother and the father for protection, for maintenance, completely dependent. What can the 3-month child do? But here was one demon, a demoness, Putana, and she came in the disguise of a very, very beautiful woman. And she had smeared a very deadly poison on her breast. And the plan was the moment the child would suck her breast, the child would die. But then we know Krishna, when he sucked the breast of Putana, he actually sucked her live air and killed her. And then after that, she was when Krishna had actually sucked the life air out of her and killed her, then she assumed her original form. And it is said when her body fell down, it had assumed its original form, and it was 12 miles, 12-mile long body, and all her scattered hair, her teeth were like big plows, and eyes, eye sockets were like some big wells. So like that, and then there's a description of how uh, as the body fell down, so many trees and mountains and houses all got destroyed by the force. And people, they felt as though some thunderbolts were falling down when she was screaming and when she fell dead. So, God is all powerful, even when he is 3 months old, or when he is a young man uh, in the prime of his youth. Krishna is always supreme personality, possessing all powers. One cannot become God by acquiring some siddha, some siddhi, by doing meditation, by some mystic power. One cannot become God. Is always God. Even when he is a 3-month-old baby in the lap of Mother Yashoda, he is one without a second, with all the opulences, all the potencies. He retains his original position. So we are talking about Virya. There were so many demons like this. Putana came, and then later on, Shakatasura, then Trinavrata, then Vatsasura, then Bakasura, then Aghasura. So many asuras, one after the other. Chanura, Mushtika, Kamsa, Jarasandha, like that. So many. Kashi Raja, there was Shishupala, there was so many of these. Krishna waged so many battles. Krishna never lost even one battle. Krishna was victorious in all his battles. And over and above that, he ensured that his devotees who waged the war, they emerged victorious. Not only was he successful in the wars that he fought, but he ensured that his devotees, they also emerged successful in the war of Mahabharata. Krishna arranged for their need. So this is Krishna's power, because he's the origin. He's the origin of the whole creation. Everything emanates from him. Where is the question of somebody being more powerful than him, or somebody possessing more power than him? So this is Virya. And then Yashaha. Yashaha is fame. We know of so many great personalities who are remembered, like we talk about Ashoka the Great, Akbar the Great, Alexander the Great. These are all some famous personalities. There are many more in the list of these famous personalities. But you see, just see, 1 month from now, all over the world, there is going to be grand celebrations of the birthday of Lord Krishna, Janmashtami. Janmashtami is coming on the 30th of August. And by Krishna's blessings, India Heritage Foundation will also celebrate Janmashtami this year. And I'll share more details about this. So now just see, here is a person 5,000 years ago at least recently that we can see, was a person who appeared and performed some past lives. But till today, he is being so fondly remembered, cherished, and celebrated. Is there any personality like this who is remembered and cherished and celebrated like Lord Krishna? For 5,000 years, all these people whom we talked about, this great, that great, this great, they may be just few hundred years. After some decades, some centuries, they'll be forgotten. Nobody will remember them. But look at the fame of Krishna. Even today, he is remembered, he is celebrated, he is cherished. And what to talk about the fame of Bhagavad Gita? All over the world, people acknowledge the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. Everybody recognizes how wonderful this literature is. All great leaders. We have heard from Narendra Modi, we have heard from Atal Bihari Vajpayee, we have heard from so many scholars, thinkers, so many great personalities have acknowledged uh, the fame, wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna's words uh, are even today remembered, and even today they are studied, and even today this is Krishna's fame. If somebody is taking your, if somebody, who is that personality whose words are taken so seriously that after 5,000 years, still they are remembering his words? Who is there any personality? Is there any parallel? There is no one. So this is Krishna's fame. Yashaha. So Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Tiryasya Yashaha. Shriya. Shriya is beauty. So it is said, there is a description in the Brahma Samhita. This is a verse that is composed by Lord Brahma, and he describes uh, the beauty of Lord Krishna. It's very interesting. We will get some understanding about what is Krishna's. So he says, Venum Kwananta Aravinda Dalayata Bhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundara Kandarpa Kotikamani Visheshasho Govinda Adipurusha Tamaham Bhajami Govinda Adipurusha Tamaham Bhajami. This is Brahma. So what he's saying? He's saying, Venum Kwananta Aravinda Dalayatasham. Venum Kwanantam. Just see, there is a description of the activities of Krishna. What does God do? What does he look like? Where does he stay? All descriptions are available. One does not have to, tax his brain, try to speculate. It's all there. One has to simply become familiar and acknowledge. So it is said, Venam Kwananta. Krishna is playing his Ven. He is playing his flute in the spiritual world. What is he doing? He's playing his flute. Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalayataksha. Aravinda means lotus. His eyes are like lotus petals. Aravinda Dalaya Taksham. Aksha means eyes. Dalaya Taksham. Barhavatam. Barhavatam means he's having a peacock feather. Just see the kind of detailing that is given by the Acharyas. Lord Brahma is speaking about this. Barhavatam sam asitam Sundara. It is said he has a complexion which is blackish blue. What kind of complexion? Asitambuda. Ambuda means the cloud, rain-bearing cloud. You know, when it is going to rain, now we can see it's a little cloudy, sometimes distant. But when there is going to be heavy rains and dark clouds coming, Asitambuda Sundara. That is the complexion, blackish blue. And then it is said, Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Kandarpa Koti. Kandarpa means Cupid, the most beautiful and most attractive personality amongst all the created beings is Cupid. Madana. So it is said Krishna is having a blackish blue complexion. But is that very beautiful? Yes. How beautiful? It is more beautiful than Kandarpa Koti. Koti means the beauty of crores. Crores is 10 million. Crores of Cupid's beauty, if you combine together, Krishna's beauty surpasses. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobha. This is Lord Brahma is saying, unto such a personality, Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Govinda, who has all these wonderful attributes. So we can see this is the description of Krishna's beauty, which is unparalleled, which is Lord Brahma is the secondary creator of this entire universe, and he is saying in his words on how beautiful is the form of Krishna, which excels the beauty of millions and millions of Cupid's beauty put together. So this is Shriya. And then there is Gyan. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Yashasas Shriyaha Jnana Vairagya. Jnana. So this is the fifth quality we're talking about. So now here it's very interesting to note that we are talking about, since how many months is this now? Maybe five plus months. We are trying to study Bhagavad Gita through this Gita for Life sessions. These are words of Krishna, spoken 5,000 years ago, as recent as 5,000 years ago. And it is a fact that in the current society, there is no knowledge which can surpass the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, nor will ever in the future there be knowledge which is more sublime than the message of Bhagavad Gita. I was speaking some years back in a there was a research cell meeting in a Jain. This was a Jain university. They had a department for promoting research amongst the students, and they had a convocation kind. event. And so as a guest speaker, I was sharing with them that it is because it was an occasion where everybody was talking about what research they're doing and what they want to do, and some of them having very good publications, some international publications, and so on and so on. So fundamentally, we do research because we want to address a problem that exists. We want to address a problem. So in order to overcome that problem, we do research and we come up with a solution and solve. Just like now, coronavirus pandemic was there. So many scientists, they did research and they came up with a vaccination. And now they're helping people fight the disease. So like that, in every field, there is some research going on to solve the respective problems in that department. So I was sharing with the students that one should research. There are so many problems that you can research, which is nice. But the most important problem deserves the first attention, and you must research into that problem. When you have, suppose in the house, there are so many problems out there. Say this window is not closing properly, the iron box is not working. Say my some cloth is torn and it needs some stitching, and there is fire in the kitchen. So like this, there may be some problem. So of all these problems, which problem you like to do first? Can anybody share your thoughts on this? Like I gave example. Take this situation. Window is not working properly. My cloth is torn, it needs stitching. Iron box is not working, and fourth problem is I have fire in the kitchen. Which problem I should attend? Can anybody share?
Be the fire.
The fire. Anybody else think something is more important? Yes. So this is of all the problems, this is the most important problem. Because if you, nothing will happen if I neglect the iron box. Nothing will happen if I don't stitch the cloth or attend to the window. Some minor inconvenience, but that's okay. Fire in the kitchen, if I don't attend to, it will burn the house, it will burn me also. So I have to attend to that problem first. Likewise, the scriptures tell us what is the most, what is the biggest challenge, which every human being has to confront with. And that challenge is this challenge of Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Birth, Janma, Mrityu, death. Jara is old age and Vyadhi is disease. Till today, nobody has any solution to this problem. And nobody will ever be able to find a solution to this problem. And this is, any intelligent person should try to address this problem. Then he is intelligent. And from all the different sources of knowledge that is coming out from various universities, so much of research publications, there is British Medical Journal, there is Lancet, there is this, that, so many research publications are coming, Science Direct, this, that, of little what I know, there are hundreds and thousands of more what I don't know. None of them have solution to these problems. But here is one book. These are words spoken by Krishna, the Bhagavad Gita, which has got the solution to these problems. Which is why Krishna in his own words says, this Vidya, which I'm sharing with you, Krishna, this is Raja Vidya. This is king of all knowledge. Raja Vidya, Raja Gushyam, Pavitram, Idamuttamam, Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam, Susukam Kartum Abhyayam. This knowledge is king of all knowledge. So this is the, we talked about different opulence. This is the knowledge of, he must be all knowledgeable. And Krishna's words are the source of all knowledge, Rajavidya, in his own words. And then the other sixth opulence is Vairagya. Vairagya means detachment. I have so many things in my possession. I have an ability to enjoy so many things, but I choose, but I'm not interested. Whole world is after all these possessions, but although I have, I'm not interested. It's not a big deal for me. That means this person is renounced. So it is interesting to see from Krishna's life how he demonstrated these qualities. When Yudhishthira Maharaj was performing Rajasuya Yajna, before assuming the position as the emperor of the world, so so many kings had assembled, so many devatas had assembled, and the ceremony had to begin with Agra Puja. That means a person who is most respectable should be offered worship first. So there was a discussion: who deserves this honor of Agra Puja? So in very the Pandavas and others, they all proposed the name of Krishna. There's nobody else who's more worshipful than Krishna. And there were some objections to this from personalities like Shishupala, Dantavakra, and few others who were very, very envious of Krishna. And their allegation was that no, how you can have Krishna as the worthy of Agra Puja? He's a woman hunter. He's womanizer. He doesn't have good. He's so immoral. How can you have him? He's enjoying with young damsels in the middle of the night. What is this? So they made objections. So at that time, Bhishma, so he stood up in there, and then he said that I am celebrated as the as a great brahmachari, because Bhishma was a brahmachari. He never had any connection with anyone. So he said that if I was in the midst of all these young damsels, these gopis and all, I would have certainly got agitated. But I can vouch for this, that Krishna, although he was in the midst of all these most beautiful damsels, these gopis of Vrindavan, he was untouched. And therefore, I recommend that Krishna should be worshipped and considered for Agra Puja. So he was vouching for Krishna's detachment. Although Krishna is was in the midst of all these Vrajavatu, all these gopis of Vrindavan. But it is not that he was hankering to enjoy. Why? Because Krishna's quality is he is Atma Ram. He is completely satisfied. He does not require to derive pleasure from somebody else. In fact, he is a reservoir of pleasure. That's why his another name is called Rama. Rama means one who is the reservoir of pleasure. And he's fully content and satisfied. He doesn't have to derive pleasure from another person. So this is Bhishma talking about the quality of Vairagya in Krishna. Another occasion, when the Rasa dance was going on, Krishna had expanded himself. Just like with all the 16,108 queens, it is not that each queen had to wait after 16,108 days to have the company of Krishna. No. Krishna was simultaneously present with every queen in every palace. In 16,108 palaces, with 16,108 queens, Krishna had expanded himself and he was present simultaneously every one of those queens. This was Krishna's mystic opulence. Likewise, during the Rasa dance, this is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there were so many gopis, and Krishna was present with every gopi, and every gopi thought that Krishna is dancing with me alone. So Krishna fulfilled the desire and gave this individual attention to every one of these gopis who were part of this Rasa dance, and they were dancing and they were enjoying. So at one point in time, these gopis, they were becoming proud that they had the privilege and the opportunity to dance with Krishna, to embrace Krishna, to enjoy with Krishna. So they were becoming proud of their good fortune. The moment Krishna sensed this pride in the gopis, Krishna immediately disappeared. So again, Krishna is demonstrating his vairagya. Because Krishna was not happy with the gopis becoming proud. It is not good for them to become proud. They should always think that they're most fortunate and they're very blessed to have this opportunity and remain humble for the favor that Krishna showed upon them. Not become proud that I have this opportunity. So Krishna didn't want them to become proud. So to make them humble, Krishna immediately disappeared. So we can see it was not that Krishna was very eager, of course, to fulfill the desire of his devotee. Yes, Krishna was present, but it is not that he was so attached, like a lusty man is after a woman that he wanted to enjoy with them. No. Krishna is not having any intention of deriving any pleasure from them. Krishna is there to facilitate services of his devotees, their eagerness to serve Krishna in conjugal relationship. So, and in order to correct them, he immediately disappeared. So we can see these are all some pastimes where Krishna displayed the quality of vairagya, completely detached. And then later on, they became very morose. They realized their mistake and they were feeling so much separation from Krishna. They were crying for Krishna. And then after that, since Krishna felt that they realized their mistake and repented for it, then again, once again, Krishna appeared in their midst. So these are all pastimes from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And so we just talked about these 6 qualities. Can somebody repeat these 6 qualities that we talked about? This helps us to understand who is Krishna, who is Bhagavan. Can somebody summarize? Let's take one quality at a time.
Strength.
Strength. Yes, that is virya. Next, anybody else?
Aishwarya,
What is Aishwarya?
wealth,
Wealth. Yes. Okay, Aishwarya. Next,
Knowledge,
what is that? Jnana.
Jnana,
Okay. Then, so three are.
Detachment.
Who was that? Yeah, was that Rupa?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Mataji. So, what is that?
Is it
Quality
Vairag?
called Vairagya. Yes,
Vairagya.
Vairagya. Yes, 4 down. Somebody else was not yet answered. Can you? 2 more to go.
Yashaha, fame.
faith,
Yashaha. Yashaha is fame. Yes. And then
beauty,
Shriya, beauty.
Beauty.
Priya, beauty. Yes. So these are 6 opulences. So it is said, any person, this is Parashara Muni's statement, any person who possesses all these opulences, the 6 opulences, simultaneously. In this world, we have an experience. Somebody is very rich, but he's not beautiful. Somebody is very beautiful, but they're not very famous. Somebody is very famous, but they're not very knowledgeable. Somebody is very knowledgeable, but they're not very detached. They're very, very attached. So we find all combinations. But that personality who possesses all these six opulences simultaneously and to the unlimited degree, all wealth, all strength, each one of them simultaneously to the unlimited degree. This is called samagrasya. That personality is Bhagavan. And all the Vedic literatures and all the acharyas, they confirm that that personality is Krishna. And which is why in this verse, Sanjaya is addressed. When he is referring to Krishna, he is not saying Krishna uvacha, kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam anaridishtam asvargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. He is not saying, he is saying Shri Bhagavan uvacha, kutastva kashmalamidam. And he is going ahead by describing what is Krishna's statements. So it is very important who is being referred to. Sometimes great devotees of Krishna, like Narada Muni, they are also addressed as Bhagavan Narada Rishi, Bhagavan Narada, because they're devotees of Krishna. They're empowered by Krishna. They're in that sense as powerful as Krishna, but they're not equal to Krishna. So in that sense, sometimes great devotees are also referred because they are representing Krishna. So here is so this is an understanding that is so when we talk about Krishna, we should have this perspective. Who is the person being referred to? When we have this perspective, so we will be able to attach more value and more importance and respect for his words. What is such a personality, this Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the terminology used by Prabhupada. Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is speaking and he is giving advice to Arjuna. So you can see what is the position of Arjuna. How fortunate he is. So when Krishna is with him, there is no reason for him to feel depressed. There is no reason for him. And it is assured that his so-called lamentation will soon be vanquished because Krishna will help him overcome this. So these are some reflections and some thoughts, and we will see as we move forward on how Krishna does not approve of Arjuna's Arjuna puts forward many arguments why he doesn't want to fight, and why Krishna does not approve of those points, and he brings in many perspectives to help Arjuna appreciate why it is the right thing to do. We will see that as we progress in the future sessions. So with this, we will proceed to the next part of our program. We will chant 108 times the Hare Krishna mantra, and then after that, some announcements, and if there are any questions or any comments, we can. So here I'm sharing the yes. So we'll chant in sync with Prabhupada's chanting 108 times the Hare Krishna mantra. And here.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that times the yes. So happy to share with all of you that tomorrow from our kitchen here in Watford, around 1,800 meals every day are going to go out on the occasion of the summer feeding program to the holiday clubs. So, so many of them will receive Krishna Prasadam every day for the next 5 weeks. So this is uh, a big project that is we have been working on for many weeks, and tomorrow we're going live, and we wish that we will be able to reach out more and more people with Krishna Prasadam, and they be recipients of Krishna's blessings. And in the same place, I was mentioning about the Janmashtami celebration. So on the 4th of September, which happens to be the weekend following Janmashtami. Janmashtami falls on Monday. Vyasa Puja is on Tuesday. So the same weekend on Saturday happens to be 4th of September. We will have a small celebration, Janmashtami celebrations, and all of you are invited. Those of you can make it. We'll also see if we can make some arrangements to have the event covered online, or at least if we can share some memories of the celebration. But we definitely want to have some sort of India Heritage Foundation will be observing Janmashtami this year. More details of how you can get involved in, how you can render services. And at this point in time, we are looking at having this in our kitchen premises here in Watford. And we're also looking at this point in time, we're also looking at having an Abhishek ceremony, Abhishekam for Lord Krishna. So if we are looking for a deity of Laddu Gopal, if any of you have Laddu Gopal at your home, or know people who have, then do let us know, so that we can see how we can have an Abhishek ceremony for Krishna Chandra on the occasion of the Janmashtami celebration. So this is these were some thoughts. If there are any comments, any questions, please feel free to share.
I had a question.
Yes, Tom.
You were talking about the 16,000 palaces of Krishna in Dwarka.
Yeah.
I heard Dwarka sank beneath the ocean after Krishna left. And I'm just wondering, are those palaces ever been discovered, like all underwater? It would be like a treasure trove of, because all these.
Yes, actually, there have been these marine archaeological expeditions, and they have found the remnants of the Dwaraka city. So that is a fact, that there was a city which had inhabitation, its gates. So that is something that is proven. The remains of Dwaraka, which is submerged, it's under the sea.
Because
it's confirmed.
They're all made of like gems and gold and marble. I'm just thinking, if you were a treasure hunter, that'd be amazing to go under there.
I don't know the details of what treasures they have, but they have disclosed in many papers on the and these details are also available on the web about how the descriptions in the scriptures is confirmed from what they have found. The fort walls, the gate, the potteries, all of that dating back to the so those remnants, definitely there are proofs by which they have concluded. But with respect to gems and with respect to marbles, those I'm not sure. Maybe if somebody else has more details, they can share.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much for joining. We look forward to meet you again in our next session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.